Well, it says live, so I have to assume it's live. Hello, friends at home. Hi, I'm Mr. Buckworth. I'd like to ask you, what would you like to be when you grow up? I want to be a fireman. I want to be a police officer. And Snoop Dogg says, I want to be a motherfucking hustler. You better ask somebody. Do-do-dum, doom, doom, do-doom, 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 doom, doom, do-doom, do-doom. This is for the G's and this is for the hustlers. This is for the hustlers and back to the G's. Please. Anyhow, so I just wanted to warm up with a little tune. Haven't shot a little live video in a while, and it was my birthday, and I want to thank you all very much, very, 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 very much, from the bottom of my heart, how much it means to me. I know that we all are a part of each other's destiny. Yes, we are. I know in my heart. And you do too. If I've connected to you, look out. Here comes the Spider-Man. Actually, like I posted a year. And thank God for Facebook having the memories. I'm just intelligent enough to be dangerous and just stupid enough to believe that I'm Batman. I'd much rather be Batman than... Well, Spider-Man has some superhero power, actually, because he got bit by a spider. I mean, seriously. Wouldn't y'all like to get bit by a spider and have some superhero power? Of course, you have to hide yourself, and all your friends are going to think you're a weirdo. But hey, such is life, right? My sales manager at the car dealership, Stewart Chevrolet, Mitch Mushrow's his name, his wife can bend a spoon on her hand. I just happened to go by his dealership one day and start talking and rapping to him, and I brought up meditation, and he told me the story. He goes, dude, Malia, his wife's name, he goes, I wouldn't have believed it if I didn't see it myself, but he goes, I never heard or thought or nothing about meditation ever before in my life, but she sat there and bent a spoon on her hand, but he said that it wrapped around her hand. Oh, hello, a couple friends. He said it wrapped around her hand. It didn't, like, bend like in the Matrix. But the Matrix says that, well, the spoon isn't real. You bend yourself. Anyhow, so I wrote like 66 pages. 66 frickin' pages. Maybe 67 actually. I started yesterday. I wrote one page when I was in the Safeway parking lot just waiting there. I don't have a car. I could buy a bucket car for $1,000. I just haven't yet. Other things felt more important. Like buying my crystals. This one here brings wealth and prosperity. It is the pyrite. This is a raw one. But I have a obelisk at home, about 6 inches, and it cost me $75. Now, add up about 10 of those, and I could have bought me some bucket car. But then I think about the fact that if I had this car, then all of a sudden, well, my first thought about getting a car actually right away, I have my license, but my first thought about getting a car right away is like, oh, I'm going to be in danger. Not danger, but my fear thought. I was like, I get reason to be pulled over. You know what I'm saying? If my car's not squeaky clean or something looks sketchy about the car whatsoever, even if the tags are good, I could be pulled over for whatever reason. Then all of a sudden, no matter what it is, my life that I'm enjoying, driving along, is all of a sudden inflicted upon by some mofo that wants to press his ego upon me. Possibly. Who knows? I might get the good cop. Whenever I get a good cop, I always ask them, are you a Freemason? I always believe that they are men of God and actually have a higher purpose. I do believe that these people are, well look, there's a bad entity in every single facet. Even at your job, when there's that nasty mofo that comes to work and all of a sudden pisses everybody off, let's just say he's the Illuminati mofo. And all the rest are like humanitarians. Period. Really, truly, honestly. Most of mankind is actually wishes the best for themselves, first and foremost, unfortunately. But we do all wish for our brethren to rise as well. Just not as high as us. Like we have to be like just one notch above the Joneses. You know what I'm saying? Helps us feel comfortable at night when we go to sleep. And we just hope these people show up to our funeral that we've been living for. Anyhow, so let me go ahead and start my book. Our book. It's really our book. I am nothing without you. I've only grown through Facebook, really. This is a beautiful, 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 I know you might not be able to see it, but it's really beautiful. Blank book. Blank. It's blank. It has the globe right there and the continents and stuff. But the whole thing's blank, really. If I was an amazing artist, or I cared to finish something to the degree that it's appealing to the eye, so I'd just rather go on creating even with chicken scratch. That's what I keep telling people, that it's okay, just express yourself. Even if it's not perfect, it's okay. It's alright. Life is good. You will live tomorrow. It's not the end of the world because you embarrassed yourself on Facebook. That's why I have no problem ranting or expressing myself, because I keep trying to express to everybody that we're all just fractals of God. Each of us are our own fractal. Or let's start with fraction. If you're unfamiliar with fractals, we'll start with fraction. And yeah, let's just start with that, okay? So let me start with my 66 pages, possibly 67. But I started on Easter Sunday. I wrote something, Sunday, Easter Sunday, 4/12/2020, do. 4 days after my birthday, 4/8/2020. So, I was angry over the past few years, feeling life's deception over all of the people. Now look guys, I set the phone there, I put my little jacket up, I have the backpack right there, got my little harmonique right here. Woo! Hot damn! For the police and the fireman. Anyhow, I did some breath work yesterday. The Wim Hof breath thing, like that. And then hold your breath or whatever. And then inhale and hold your breath. And then this whole type of thing, your whole body starts to feel numb and shit. It's crazy. And then after that, I did the fucking Joe Dispenza Kundalini exercise. And both of those were actually after I did the Kundalini yoga in the morning. So I had a whole crazy day a couple days ago. And today's, I'm supposed to be doing the Kundalini yoga again. But here I had a couple beers. And I wrote all this stuff today. And really, it's kind of tough to escape life right now a little bit. I live with my aunt and uncle. I pay $500 a month, and I'm quite proud and happy. Or I could rent a studio. Here's the BART right here in South City, right there. Here's a parking lot right there, and there's the housing complex, and there's another housing complex over there, which is next to Trader Joe's. But anyhow, so I could rent a studio in there, which is probably about 3 to 4, maybe 450, 500 square feet. And it's going to cost $1,800 a month, $1,800 a month just to rent a studio. Now let's say I have a studio there, and let's say I catch BART right there, and I have a job in San Francisco, and let's say I make $70,000, $80,000 a year as a programmer. And if I do really like murder myself for the company, like working like 80 hours a week actually, I'll get like a 50 to 70, possibly to $125,000 bonus, which is really high, really fucking high, right? But bonuses in America, or maybe it's just California, are cut in half. So your bonus is actually cut in half. Because the rest goes to taxes, evidently. And even when you work overtime at work, it's your freaking time, not the government's, but they tax you in a higher tax bracket. Why is that? It's your freaking time, not the government's. But you know it's funny? Well, as you'll learn, as I read on the pages, which I wrote, that the American citizen is owned by the federal government. But why is the federal government, why are the American citizens? You know, it's a free country, land of the free, home of the brave. I don't want to insult anybody, but it might really be land of the ignorant. We're actually 28th in intelligence amongst the entire planet of 193 countries. Out of 193 countries, we only scored 28th. So that means there's 27 countries in front of us. No matter how smart we like to think we are. Just because we could go rush to the store and go buy a Gucci purse. Oh, actually, we can't go to the store and rush and buy a Gucci purse right now. Oh my God. Our identity is crashing before us all. Let me go back to playing the harmonica and living in my pipe dream. Amen. All right. Leopold. Just kidding. If I wasn't willing to make an ass out of myself, then I wouldn't have the confidence to fucking play half that shit. Which, like I'm going to explain in a brief moment, that we are all fractals of the great infinite creator, and we can express ourselves freely. Express ourselves freely. I mean, just express ourselves freely, like a rant, a tangent every now and then, without having somebody interject. Let's just have somebody say like, wow, I never thought about that before. You're right. Hit a like on Facebook and I guess other social medias too, but we act like we're being charged for likes. What is it? Because it leaves your name on there? Look, sometimes I met some freaking awesome people on Facebook, and I'm like, holy shit, like I literally want to hit like on every single thing. Because it just like resonates so much, you're like, I don't even need to speak to this person again, I already know. I could already copy all their memes and share them, and they don't give a crap. It's not about their recognition, it's like they created all their frickin' memes. My nose itches. I shaved today for you guys. Put on a pretty shirt, which I've only worn a couple times. This shirt's pretty awesome. It has like a secret pocket right here, which I'm keeping my Libyan desert glass, which this same type of material or matter was found in King Tut's, you know, the king of Egypt, King Tut, in his breastplate of his chest. Pretty awesome. Maybe you guys could see another view right now. I don't know. Really, this is about me reading my thing. And it's really not about my thing. It's really about our thing. And it's just a perspective of all of our lives. All of our lives. I have plenty of friends on here. So I'm going to show you a different view right now. It's not windy. The reason I had you there is because it was kind of windy. But now it's not. So let me go ahead and read my stuff now. Here, let me put this back here a little bit. I'm just trying to make it... Look. I wanted to start a page like called Live from Grandma's Closet, you know what I mean, or basement, because people make jokes about that shit and just be funny about it. Whatever. Even scream like that one show, "Ma, bring me some meatloaf!" You know, it's like hella funny. But whatever. I mean, you could only post so many gags before people stop taking you serious. So let me explain all this stuff right now, which I wrote 66 pages. Possibly 67. But, so, alright, here we go. Sunday, Easter Sunday, 4/12/2020. I was angry over the past few years, feeling life deception over all of the people. I was also bothered by how my fellow Americans have grown jaded over the world's problems. Long as we can keep entertaining ourselves. We get the government we are. We deserve worse than what we have. To be blunt about it, do we really deserve more freedoms if we already waste away our dream? Consumed by video games, social media, shopping, or just getting programmed from the TV 4 hours a day? Is that too real? Alright, there we go. Is this too real? No, but it gets good. It gets there's science in here, and there's lots of stuff, okay? So it's just like, yeah, do we really deserve more freedoms if we already waste away our day consumed by video games, social media, shopping, or just getting programmed from the TV 4 hours a day? We are what we are consumed by. If we measured our thoughts and activities for just one day, we would objectively see what holds value in our life. Now 4:13. What did that today? Monday morning, yeah. We've been fed lies about our history as a people. We don't exactly know the truth of our origin. we're bombarded with information throughout life and never taught discernment of information. I myself too, prefer to have someone tell us what is in a nice, comfortable platform. Well, in school, we just sit and listen or speak up. But ultimately, it's just memorizing stuff to pass a test before we move on to the next subject. There's no importance expressed on any particular subject to know what really matters in life. We graduate, go to college, or just work right away. Learning life as we go along. We get busy running errands, having fun, just being human. So it's really easy to get and stay distracted. Over time, we believe all these activities are what life is about, and we attach our identity to it. I'm not aiming to come across angry or scolding like a parent to a child. I am a child and will always be until I pass. What I am aiming to convey or sink in through the course of this book is for our eyes to shut and take a few deep breaths. Until you can feel and hear your heartbeat. Then prepare for an expansion to what we believe was real and important in life, no matter your upbringing and background. This is for the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and millennials. It's also for me. We are one. Life has no hierarchy. That's in our head. No one is superior to anyone, ever. Employers are often idiots. Parents are often children themselves. Government officials are often ignorant on most issues. Doctors, too. Busied by design and programmed to push product. The dentists, what they think is important, like to deep root cleaning, not the sore tooth that's actually aching, etc., etc., etc. Everything in life is kind of a kink. Long as we have faith in a better tomorrow and are able to buy things to entertain ourselves, we progress day by day on our merry way. We are mostly led by ego, not even realizing we have an ego at all. I have to keep up with the neighbors. My child needs these shoes because their friend got them and my child might feel inferior. So I'll get them the matching jacket on my credit card. Meanwhile, 50% of Americans don't have $500 in a savings account. But we're all out with our friends, popping champagne on the weekends to have a great selfie to brag about our lit life. 2/3 of the planet doesn't have running water or electricity. And we have not a care in the world. In America, we use 70% of all the pharmaceuticals made on the planet. Doesn't that seem odd to you? We must have the most unhealthy population on the planet if we need all the pills, right? I'm asking you lots of questions in this. Probably a lot of mentally ill people we like to conveniently overlook. I don't like the truth either. And thinking hurts or costs money, evidently. I apologize that I can't find a silver lining in the fact we've chosen swag over wits in the past. Intelligence is the new sexy, supposedly. Their minds like to be stimulated. But will that create hunger for knowledge? I don't know. There's lots of beautiful people online posting intelligent memes that aren't actually practicing what's on the meme. Most people are afraid to shoot a Facebook Live video speaking their truth. Most of us are walking around preaching half-truths, believing they're complete facts. World War III is either biological, hence the COVID, or it's a war on our mind. Most people are walking around completely blind to most of life that's not serving them. There is a fine line dividing serving a narcissist and serving a servant. We are too cut off. All toxic relationships that don't serve our better self. There is a difference. Here's lesson number one. For myself. I think that's one of the greatest gifts of life. Figuring out the toxic personalities and traits in our atmosphere. Recognizing this by itself allows you to no longer be consumed by them. It's not easy at first, but if you hold your ground internally, mountains will move, I promise you. 20 years ago, I was diagnosed bipolar. I was fine. Then I unknowingly put myself in a stressful situation. And a few months later, my family took me to the General Hospital psych ward. Well, I gotta tell you now that I could run circles around a psychiatrist. I've studied the human mind, biology, spirituality, metaphysics, and a lot of esoteric knowledge. See, everything in life is so compartmentalized that people can not see the associations between them. Everything is divided everywhere, and people categorize themselves in these specialities. That's how military, banking, and religious sects get people to perform a task not knowing the consequences of their actions. Also, it allows everyone to fall back on the fact that they were just doing as they were told and needed to feed their families. I give the benefit of the doubt. Firms hire the smartest people they could find and expect them to squeeze water out of a rock to get their bonus. The world is set up for right-handed people. Well, the right half of our body is controlled by our left side of our brain. So the right hand is controlled by the left side of your brain, just over here. Well, the left side of the brain compartmentalizes everything, where the right side of the brain is the creative side of the brain, and it's like an amusement park if you develop it. The right brain is the creative side. Well, with this transition we're all going through, your creative side will come into play as life progresses. The left brain is the male mind. The right brain is the feminine mind. Well, we grow a mental illness if we grow too much in one direction over the other. I believe we all suffer from variations of mental illness. Us kneeling for human rights. Kneeling for human rights. Remember the Kaepernick? Kneeling for human rights while the sponsors' products are made in child sweatshops. We don't care that the Nike product, that Kaepernick's new, like to stand for or kneel for our rights. We don't care that those jerseys are made in child sweatshops while we're claiming our rights as a people from oppression. Is clearly a huge delusion its supporters are living. We all live in the delusion expression in our actions. We support these companies to look good, to build our confidence, to appeal to our spirit and attract a mate. This is a mental delusion. Us believing our military is peacekeeping globally is a delusion. Freedom is a delusion. If we live in any metropolis, it's a delusion. The freedom. Freedom is off the grid. We murder ourselves for goods, believing they bring happiness. While in a short time, we no longer use the item we had to have. We are sheep and loving it all the way to the store. Lesson number 2. To myself. Another great gift of life I learned is that we can reprogram our mind to attract what we want. We can program in happiness with hardly any possessions at all. Once we learn how we are slaves to our desires, the desires no longer control your existence, our existence, my existence. Just by reading a few powerful memes every day can change my entire outlook on life altogether. It's really amazing, actually. You, in fact, become the light in the dark place. The world just is as is, and we put our selective goggles on and just run with it every day, believing everything not inside our view isn't really real or matter at all. Don't forget, 2/3 of the planet doesn't have electricity or water and live off of less than $2 a day. But my child can't survive without Jordans. So what is the reality here? You tell me. Who's intelligent? Are we really rationally thinking at all? You know the news broadcasters have editors and bosses to answer to. Also, they have to appease the marketing department. Everything is a script. If I repeat a lie 10 times, I start to believe it, knowing it is a lie. You tell me how we are not getting programmed every day like a computer. Prove to me how the devil exists, and I'll be able to show it was someone's ego all along. I hope now you can see why I was angry for those few years. More irritated by our own ignorance. I don't even know what to say or think anymore about the current state of affairs. We only want the truth to the point it makes us feel uncomfortable. I used to preach all day all my findings on Facebook, leaving them public, just hoping someday someone will appreciate someone divulging the truths I've come to discover myself. I still know nothing. The more you learn, the more you realize you don't know. As knowledge is self-isolating, the more you grow internally on various levels, the more you grow apart from those that aren't growing. Soon you die. You do live on 2 different planets than even your own family. At first they attempt to crush your change, but if you hold firm, they realize it's whom you believe you are. But see, we are ever changing and evolving once you go within. Mine is all there really is. Mind controls energy. Energy can be processed into making matter move. Some people can bend spoons. Let's not forget that. Some monks have been known to levitate. People that have power don't advertise it like Apple. We all have these abilities. Yes, you can. We just need to remove our own mental energy blockages. I can prove God exists through quantum physics. There is a symphony of information just in the very air we breathe. There's also tons of chemicals from chemtrails and smog. The the rabbit hole is so deep in every direction, it's nauseating, really. I often wonder if we're really even meant to want to make a difference, even if possible. Maybe we're just supposed to resonate loving energy to ourselves, family, friends, and neighbors. But even at that, we still need to remove all the veils they are living under. And yes, I understand we can't even decide as a family what movie to watch. Imagine having 350 million people to make happy. Let that sink in. Are you presidential? I voted for Barack twice. He was the best speaking mouthpiece I ever... I mean, who would have thought a community organizer, you know, like community, like your community, like a local community organizer, would have known so much about global affairs? He didn't. Joe Biden was the tool, the handler, the semi-handler. I was going to vote for Hillary until I saw Barack speak, and I was like, oh my God, a black man would bring just as much change as a white woman, right? I mean, the Philippines had a female president. I didn't really care. I just know shit's fucked up and needs to change. And me as a Democrat over here in the past, when I saw Paul Ryan speak, I was like, wow, these Republicans really do not appreciate their own people. And I really thought that they were like fucking evil. I really did, those Republicans. But then, I went and lived in Arizona for a little while, Texas, and Louisiana. I think they tend to be a little bit more red states. I don't really know. I didn't really ask anybody. But they seemed to think the Democrats were the root of all their problems. And it was really weird. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then I got to see how much properties cost around there and all this stuff. And over here in California, we're like murdering ourselves just to like stay in our 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. Thinking that's all of existence altogether. Which should be plenty fine and more than enough for any family in America, period. 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. I mean, there's room for you, and if you want to have a bunch of kids, boys and girls, you split them up. Hopefully you have a decent yard, and they could go out and play and run and do all that stuff. Anyhow, whatever. Life is really freaking interesting. When you take the time to actually look at stuff. See, I don't have very many responsibilities in life. Over the past 5-6 years, I reevaluated my responsibilities and the things that I dedicated myself to. And I realized that a lot of them were supporting fake realities. It wasn't what was important to me. It was what was important to society, to show society that I matter, that I'm somebody. But in reality, we're just like a bunch of ants. We're all progressing to one queen ant. We just don't realize there's a queen ant. We have our bosses we suck up to, and we don't appreciate them. Well, because really they don't appreciate us. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Something happened. There was a shift. I don't know if it was a book that came out and like all managers, car managers read them across America or something, or just my manager, or some Robert Kiyosaki book came out and shifted everybody's mentality to like, how could I squeeze water out of a rock, like pretend they're Jesus. And in fact, when they make this extra income, they quite possibly believe they are, because all the subordinates also make a little bit more too, so everybody follows along. And it's truly been the American way the entire time. You have to have faith. It's really funny when I saw that employers wanted your goals to match up with their goals, which is really good, but sometimes you just want to work there and for whatever reasons, and you're like, so my life goals are supposed to match up with your life goals. I I know that really matters a lot on the grand scheme of things, like how are you going to progress and are you going to stay there a while and all that stuff. But do you think really that their life goals are even open to like slight waverment to like massaging your goals? Because when I worked at San Francisco Honda, believe me, I worked 7 days a week. That place, they opened at 9 and closed at 9. And sometimes I'd be there till 11 at night. I'd go in on my day off just to go pick up a car from some other dealership and drive all the time, an hour and a half away, just go get a car for somebody and just pray on the way that it doesn't have a scratch on it. You know what I'm saying? All this paperwork and negotiation and everything. And I would do it just to see the smile on my customer's face. Because as a salesperson, all you're really after is what, all you're really worth is what you're going after. Your next deal. At least in your car stuff. And I know past achievements don't calculate the future expectations or some shit. I don't know what Grant says, but I don't give a fuck what they say. He teaches people to lust for money. You never truly grow to be as great as you could be lusting for the money. But I sold Hondas. I mean, come on. You're on your cell phone. You could look up pricing and see the cost of the product and all kinds of shit in 5 minutes by the time I come back from the sales manager's desk. How pathetic is that? So, the one not pathetic, it's really awesome. I'm really happy. I would show the customers our cost up front. I tell them my commission, how much does the dealership take out of the deal or whatever, their cut. And I'd ask the customer, which is really pathetic. I'd say, how much do you think profit is fair for the dealership to make, being we got the car that you want, and I'm here trying to make this as convenient as possible. And I'd put it in their hands, but really, shit, that's really fucking pathetic. Sales perspective. I wouldn't even grind them for an extra $150 to $600 or nothing. In fact, I had plenty of used car customers that I would show them. Here's a new car that you could have for right now. Here's the lower interest rate, all this stuff. Because I would show them what I wanted, would think that I would be the best benefit for me. Because I learned when I worked at Menlo Honda in Redwood City, there was this little Latino family. This Latino family, not little, but there was this little child and the wife and the husband. And I had to make these payments. I didn't make or nothing. They agreed. But these people had to make 1 year's extra payments, worth of payments, just to make myself a $1,000 commission. So they had to make an extra year's worth of payments of $400 a month to make myself a $1,000 commission and make the boss happy. Because how they pay you at car dealerships is you get paid 25% of the profit. So the boss is really happy. Striving to survive for a fucking roof over my head has never been my biggest priority in life, and I know that's really crazy, and I've always had a roof and stuff provided over my head. I give myself wholeheartedly to my friends and family, and I've never really had to worry about providing a roof over my head. And really, I'm 43 years old. And I still feel like a child. And I'm way more evolved than 90% of the population that I know. As a human being, a person, and all that stuff. And I have all the ability in the world to dedicate 70 hours a week to something. That's what I'm saying. So you can't trust Grant Cardone's thing about past things don't predict the future, whatever the case is. Because I gotta tell you guys right now, all of ourselves, we can't hold our identity to what our past career was just a month and a half, 2 months ago. Really. That world is not coming back. It's going to slowly incremental come back as automation continues to creep in. That whole Andrew Yang shit that I was preaching before is all still a reality. It's just amazing. I didn't think it was going to come from that. I thought it was just going to be automation and AI over the next fucking 4 or 5 years, and self-driving cars kicking in more mainstream, and all of a sudden a chunk of the Uber drivers, people that didn't have a job or left their job to go become Uber drivers and thought they found the glory under the skies, and they're about to get walked away too. You know what I'm saying? Life is changing on a whole drastic. I'm sorry, I need to go urinate. Here's the cover that I made for the book. I drew it. If you guys look at my timeline picture, it's a red picture and it has the Twin Tower buildings, which is really awesome. And I drew a little moon on here. I don't know, maybe I'll just add a little moon to that picture in the background, like fade it out so it's still just the red, because I thought that was so beautiful. But yeah, it's called COVID Chronicles, and you're more than welcome to be in it. I'm gonna go back, be right back. Just think about the King James Version. I don't even know how many pages I read. Oh, right there. I marked it. I'll be back. Excuse me for being human. Hot damn. The police and the fireman. Alright, ladies and germs. Drinking Modelo. Really, I just wanted to start getting this off before I couldn't. Modelo in it up too much. Nobody drinks Corona anymore. Imagine being the owner of Corona. How crappy is it? I'm gonna have me a secret. I just read 15 pages to your asses. I was really grateful. I've been up since like 1 o'clock this morning. I wrote this. I've been going to bed hella early. Just waking up hella early. But I love being up at that magic with the K hour. But I always wake up at like around 4 o'clock anyway. So, anyhow. So I showed you the page, COVID Chronicles. So I'm thinking that to be the cover. Well, I really want that September 11th thing. That with the COVID Chronicles right there. So then sometime people will show association somehow. And it is a beautiful picture of the buildings. And I also want to point out something that my post that I did on my birthday, I think it was, that I drew like a little swastika thing with the sun behind it. I just want to point out that we can't let, well, if the swastika symbol bothers you in general, I don't know. Are you driving a Japanese vehicle or German vehicle? An Italian? Do you own Italian anything since then? I mean, how much does it really bother you? I mean, I'm really part German, actually. And I can't wait to find a Jewish person driving a Ford Mustang and say that Ford built Hitler's tanks. And it was Chevron and Exxon's gas. Well, it was Standard Oil at the time. They're the ones. Chevron and Exxon Mobil. It was their gas in Hitler's tanks. So, until we start spending our money wisely, they're going to keep controlling everything in our existence. But we can overlook things. Continue buying the latest phone, Gucci purse, and them sexy ass spandex, baby. I love them spandex. Show it to us, girls. Come on. Do your thing. So anyhow, so you want to talk about sex? Who doesn't enjoy the subject just a little? Epstein's victims don't. Surely don't. But that's a big operation as well. It's really disgusting, to be frank with you. Not just the Epstein stuff, but whom he was working for. And how the entire system is really run by 300 people, whom also answer to darker entities at the top of the chain. I'm really only speaking in that voice so I could stop and pause between each word to make everything fucking hearable, palatable, understood, hopefully. I don't really fucking know what else. This subject matter is really interesting to me, so the endorphins start kicking in my brain and I can start talking about it really fast every other person. But, you know, lots of people don't know a lot about this stuff, or some people don't go down the rabbit hole or ever research anything, and they just believe whatever the headline is. Even though if they read the article, even if the headline says one thing, you could read the article and it might say something entirely different. Really. And we get sold just off the headline. It's really crazy. So anyhow, yeah, so, and how the entire system is really run by 300 people who also answer to darker entities at the top of the chain. You hear that? It's a little screeching. But then I also have to say, without the exposure of the dark taking place behind most the screens across the planet, we as a whole wouldn't evolve in the first place, probably. If we didn't see what we really don't want to exist, we wouldn't shut that door on its continued existence. There's so many battles being fought on every front possible at this very moment, and most Americans are oblivious to it. We get angry at what's in politics and the media and choose to only believe part of the story, never once thinking of the whole as one entity. We are all one organism on the same tree as leaves, feeding and eating off of the whole. As long as in division, we will only be able to see a fraction of the whole picture. We are distracted by life's options. Figuring out how to isolate one's focus moves mountains. We are all fractions of the great Creator, whose breath fuels our very existence. Even the seed planted that we evolved from a fish is a virus in our brain. Why does love exist if we came from a fish? Fish don't need love to procreate. The spark of life and infinite power is in every cell of our body. Our body is an instrument like a tuning fork. We all resonate off of one another. Our body has its very own electromagnetic field, like the Earth does. We are out of balance by our perceptions. Out of balance by our perceptions, or our family or friends' perceptions. We lose our connectivity to everything, really. All these radio and cell waves certainly don't help us enjoy nature like the rose we all are. The negative thoughts throughout the day really bring down our internal rhythm we should be in. The world really is in harmonious display when we take a few moments in observation. Then we can take a few deep breaths and resonate into the very energy before us. Tree huggers aren't hugging a tree for nothing. You won't catch them hugging onto a Gucci purse like that either. Why do you think who do you think lives a more prosperous life? Let me ask you that. Who do you think lives a more prosperous life? The tree hugger or the person holding a $6,000 Gucci purse? $6,000 Gucci purse. I've touched a $6,000 purse over the past fucking few months, and I gotta tell you, it did not look and touch and feel like a $6,000 purse. Believe it. I remember when I came back from Mexico on vacation, I was like, I can't believe those people make $5 a day. And us over here, we're buying $250 pair of jeans. Mexican people buying $250 pair of jeans, knowing that people in our country only make $5 a day. Like, How could you rightfully feel right about spending $250 a day? On a pair of jeans. I'm like, holy sheep dip. Life is crazy. It took me like 3 or 4 days to get my brain back thinking to the, into the material capitalist game. Proving my worth to my boss. So, this COVID global reset will be the very best thing that happened globally. If we hang in there and make the best of it as we transition into a new economy and mild lifestyle alterations. A lot of this death is normal and being blamed on COVID and hyped up in the media to capture our attention. They've been measuring this discharge in our cells, which is actually our own defense mechanism biologically. There is something out there, though. It's interesting how the head Saudi officials caught it right away. Also, how China had been studying viruses in a lab in Wuhan for a while. I guess all that nationalism to reopen American factories was a bad idea. So weird how this all came about and how our government is going to give us all this money to pull out of it. Also, we got to bring up Andrew Yang running for president in 2020 and doing quite well, I must say. If Yang wouldn't have been preaching a lot, if Yang wouldn't have been preaching, a lot of the government and our citizens still would have no clue how automation and artificial intelligence is going to change the job market drastically over the next 10 years. No matter how much hell you might have gone through in this life, but at least you got to be a part of it. These are some extremely interesting times. Remember, 200 years ago we were fighting with swords, and now we have spandex pants and iPhones. The future is here now, and people are starting to feel time is speeding up. This is all very interesting stuff. Right now, we are all concerned with our relief check, but in a few months, will you remember the despair you feel right now? May we never forget this time. Domestic violence has gone up globally 200%, and suicide is already in a steep rise. Where will we all be a year from now? A lot of people's hopes and dreams been altered over this. It's a huge wake-up call, that's for certain. But how far will we wake up is the question. How much will we want to know about the why this happened? Fukushima nuclear facility is still spewing radiation everywhere, and our Olympics are going to be held there. Can you believe that? We are so lost as far as humanity is concerned. Do we really need or deserve more freedoms? If we had the truth, knowing it was a long journey of understanding, would we seek wisdom over video games and drinking games? I ask you. Well, that old life is over and never coming back. Right now is a time for us all to reevaluate our priorities and needs. That careless consumerism structure will evolve. Companies will be more incorporating the community's needs into their business models. I had this crazy idea that if the government gave us all $4,000 a month, we'd shop at first, but then save most at the banks. Save most, and the banks would actually have their money back. Well, it's said that if all money was spread equally, eventually it would end up in the same few companies' hands. Believe me, there's some real restructuring going on at the moment, and they're being forced to plan for the next 100 years of economics and people's purpose in the world after the AI bomb. We are not our career. We are not any title we've placed over ourselves. Most don't even know what we like entirely. We only know what we don't want, which is great. But let's move past just what we don't like. Let's evolve. through what we do like. Us resonating in our own joy makes us happy, and that resonates through our sphere. But until we know the darkness, we won't live with purpose or intention. Page 26. I'll just stop there. But I really wrote 66 pages. And I just read 26, besides giving you some slight editorial. Anyhow, I know you resonate with something in there. And I'll read from page 26 on, maybe for the next 10, 15, no, it's 26 pages, on the 50 Shades of Facebook page that I have. Which is really for writers, people that like to express themselves, and actually for artists. And all that's going to be produced into a book too. And everybody's going to be published. We're going to write Facebook ads and publish the book. And guess what as well? We're all also going to work out somehow, some way, that every single author in there gets the profits from one day. You know what I mean? So it'll progress and rotate and continue to rotate. So each time it's your turn as the book progresses, your profits for that day will increase. Because we're all in this game together. And if we can't rise together, then we're basically worthless alone. It's a lonely way up to the top, and it's a lonely fall all the way down. People could pity you or wish they had the nuts to be you. I make this sound real ballsy, but it's really just a pussy statement. We are all equal. There's no hierarchy in life whatsoever. We're all growing and evolving on multiple levels. Multiple levels. There's so many levels to understanding of life in general. There's so many levels to understanding love in general. There's so many levels to understanding politics, religion, finances in general. I don't know who your God is or what rules your life. Even if you're atheist, I can still prove to you that God exists through mathematics and quantum physics. There is a mind behind everything. And even the AI that I fear that we all need to intuitively grow up, I'm quite certain that when our intuition and evolvement as human beings grows before the AI singularity comes on board, I believe that they were both one too. And I have to give Tyler credit for telling me that. But we are every single thing that we fear in life. It's us. It's no one else. We are the change. And all the feelings that you feel inside and express. And all your relationships too. Even your family are just reflections of different identities that we have all embraced as a fraction of ourselves, actually believing at the time that they are ourselves, but really it's just a fraction of who you were as an experience. It's not really who you are. Eckhart Tolle is considered the #1 spiritual teacher on the planet, and the guy who's taught people how to be in the present moment. That's what I talk about in the book too. But, like, why does that make you the #1 spiritual teacher on the planet? Because you are able to help people understand what the now moment even is. Not to think about the past and have anxiety or guilt about what your past actions or your lack of actions were or achievements. Or future anxiety about the future. Just why does that make you the #1 spiritual teacher on the planet? Why? What about being in the now moment is spiritual? Is my question. point is, just points out and reconfirms that we are spirits. Our bodies are holding space in our spirit. Our bodies are holding space in a fraction of light, a fractal of light. There's infinite possibilities and dimensions. There's nothing else I could say. I don't know, I'm only on page 26 and I got 40 more pages to read. But really, I haven't even started chapter 1 yet. I'm just going to keep going on like that. Which I bring up in the book too, is like, so clearly plenty of life existed before the Big Bang.